playing like a sweeper, getting the ball and starting the playmaking for Chicago.
Before all that play happened, was mentioning how Brandon Vincent was traded. That's how New York City acquired Jack Harrison. Now Collins. Sweat. And the other point I was going to make, the bigger field on the road than what the team's used to at Yankee Stadium. Is that a factor in these goals shipping on the road, not at home?
It absolutely can be. You hope that it's not. I mean, if I was to give New York City any advice, and easy for me to say up here in the booth, is to not try to play any different than they do at home. Don't worry about being on the road. They take it to most teams, outpossess most teams. That's going to be their best defense.
All the way back to Sean Johnson gives us a chance to look at the Tri-State Ford keys to the match. We've talked about the struggles on the road, Chris. Really withdrawn from that front three. Long ball over the top. Well, and just too much on it. There's no way that Campos could catch up to it.
NYCFC needs to take a deep breath here, see if they can get a hold of the possession, really get control of this game. Chicago probably going to be content to sit back a little bit more now as they scored an early goal. Schweinsteiger still the highest man defending all the way up against New York City center backs. It's surprising to see.
Now Tinnerholm. Medina. He cuts inside, finding Ring. Tries to get out of a little bit of trouble here. Now nods it over, finding Tinnerholm. Chipped ahead. Ring can't catch. Chipped ahead. Ring can't catch up to that. Look at the arms of Richard Sanchez. Well, that third Tri-State Ford keys to the match was adjusting to the new tactics, Chris. And what kind of new things can Domi Turant bring in? Oh, off the line is Sanchez, but that shot well over the bar. Because he came in saying that he liked what Patrick was doing. Probably going to kind of play the same way.
Obviously, they come from a similar background with City Football Group, and a lot of the ideas that Pep has tried to establish over the years, they're going to try to continue to play out of the back like they do. One thing that Dome talked about in the press conference last week after the game, and something that I think New York City is focused on, we'll see how it plays out today, is when one outside back is high in the attack, he wants the other outside back tuck in and defend, which is a little bit different than what Patrick used to have, as we were so used to seeing Ben Sweat, Tinnerholm, whoever the outside backs were, super high in the offense, almost playing like wingers.
All right, Brad Bronico with that challenge that led to the yellow card, first booking of the night. Now Maxi Morales over the ball. Set piece opportunity here for New York City as they try and get back into this one, trailing on a 6th-minute goal by Nemanja Nikolic, his 7th of the season.
Keep an eye on Collins here. He likes to get on the end of these.
Alex Collins right there at the edge of the D, top of the box. Big number 6, the Peruvian, trying to get into position. There's the wall coming forward, but floated right into the arms of Sanchez.
Good job by Chicago's line to stay high and let their keeper come out and grab that one.
Chicago at the other end. Over to Katai.
New York City doing a better job with their line that time. Leaving Katai offside.
First offside of the night. And we shouldn't be surprised that coming from Alexander Katai. You can see that first road game since May 25th when they lost on that Friday night in Houston, which will be most noted for the injury to Yangel Herrera that ended up in season-ending surgery.
Always a shame to see anybody get injured, but especially such a bright young talent like Herrera. Already as you're seeing them build out of the back, Tinnerholm running inside, creating that width for Medina on the outside to get the ball right off the center back.
Again, all the way back. Sean Johnson.
Chicago clearly dropping their line an extra 10 or 15 yards now. Really allowing New York City center backs to have the ball.
Now Ray. Oh, nice ball down into the corner. Tajouri Shradi gets there before Campbell. And off of Campbell and a corner kick.
Great cover there by Campbell as his outside back got beat. Tajouri Shradi.
Congratulations.
Maxey to Collins. Sees a little bit of real estate, comes forward, works it wide left to Joey Shradi. Slipped it inside, couldn't find Ring. Burgett trying to get there, but he's shepherded away by Jonathan Campbell.
Just not quite on the same page there with Burgett. They've been a little bit off so far, linking up with him up top.
Well, that's kind of been the thing of, can they link up with Burgett?
As we know, he's played a ton out wide as well, so it's not every game he's played up as the number 9. Takes a little getting used to.
Now Bronico. Right hand side, Kitai. Square across, trying to pick out Nikolic, just over the head of Ibeagha. Beg your pardon, that was Elliot Collier. Young New Zealander, 49th overall pick in the Super Draft. From New Zealand, but played college soccer at Loyola of Chicago.
The young Kiwi getting some more experience. Great service here from Kitai. Good marking by Ibeagha and a good spot by Tinnerholm to be behind him just to clean that up. As we see Burgett get fouled. Sometimes that's all it is, though, Joe, is just getting your body in the right place. That's just as good as holding it up for New York City.
Now, long ball, Ibeagha finding Tinnerholm, drives it across the box. Well over Burgett, but nobody else joined in. And a goal kick for Richard Sanchez. Like the idea, though.
Tajiri shot it a little bit behind the play there, but a good job to get Tinnerholm in behind.
Ibeagha back and forth with Alex Collins. Back from Ring. Closed on by Nikolic and Kitai. So his option, Sean Johnson. Let's switch it over to the right-hand side. See if there's better success here.
Up until the center circle, it looks like Chicago is more than content with NYCFC center backs being on the ball. See if they get some pressure on Collins here as he comes into the attacking half.
Collins weaving through a pair of defenders and then out wide into Joey Shradi. I guess one man's opinion, a little slow on the run there.
Just a bit off there by Collins with a great run, creating that space. Would have had Tajiri Shradi in for a cross on that. Great hold up there by Nikolic.
Now Kitai trying to spin out of trouble. His option to go back to Jonathan Campbell. They'll just thump it ahead. Collins sends it skyward. Schweinsteiger trying to find McCarty. And now Ring. Got position and then possession. Out to Tajiri Shradi. Closed on by Campos. Ishmael down to the byline. Can he get a cross off? He does, but it also gets knocked out by Diego Campos.
Excellent defense there by Campos, but it should be a corner kick coming up for NYC, right?
Yeah. Yes, indeed, as Maxi Morales will go over to take it. He is among the league leaders in corners taken. Players close to the near post. Medina Ibeagha, top of the 6-yard box, asks at the penalty spot, and Alex Collins just couldn't get over the ball, and it bounced harmlessly away.
As we mentioned before, always going to be a target for Maxi on these corner kicks. Maxi getting on the score sheet almost as much as he did the entire last season and the first half of this season. Doing a great job both scoring goals and setting up goals for NYCFC.
coming to the midway point of the half. And it is a crazy permutation, so you never know if it's quite hot enough, but it is humid enough in Chicago. There will be a hydration break here in the first half of play. You can just see how drenched Alexander Collins was. Now Burgett, he has some room and he has some support. Maxi on the left, slipped ahead. El Frasquito, challenge comes in. Maxi Morales goes down, and he will have to settle for a corner kick because Chris Penso does not point anywhere towards the penalty spot.
Wow, big no decision here from the ref. Let's see if he gets him when Campbell goes to ground. Looks like Maxi was already leaving his feet there. Good non-call by the official.
Let's be smart, boys. Let's be smart. Attack it, boys. Attack.
Chris Penso, finger to the ear.
Yeah, I don't think they need to see that one again.
Everything does get reviewed. So now, third corner, deflected across by Chicago, and now McCarty. Working it ahead for Jorge Corrales. Knocked out by New York City, throwing for Chicago. And if you remember the play last week against Toronto that Janusz Mihalik and I had the debate about should it have been a handball or not, we were told by Major League Soccer that after the review by VAR, it was determined that the ball hit the torso first of the Toronto defender before it hit the arm, and that's why they felt it wasn't a penalty kick.
It's tricky there. Is his hand in a natural position? Is his arm in a natural position? For me, if he's hitting it into his own arm, he's causing that play, but always a tough one for the official.
I will say this, I did get to the officials we were talking with to admit that they should change that law because handballs generally are not intentional. Take that word out of it.
Agreed. That should have nothing to do with it.
To me, it should be, did you give your team an advantage?
100%. And is your arm in an unnatural position? You can't have your arm out by the side, blocking a cross or a shot.
Well, and I maintain as well that the higher levels you get in the game, the less natural positions you have to put your arm in.
That's true.
that you should learn at a point that where you have to put your arm. Nice ball slotted through. Got right between Maxi and Burgett. Neither one could react in time. And Sanchez quickly outlets to the left-hand side.
Currently, this isn't part of the rule, Joe, but for me, there needs to be an element of common sense in there. If you're the ref...
Well, here, we'll get to that in a moment because here's a chance for the young Kiwi Collier. Can't quite control it. Off the feed from Corrales, and now Eba Ofori.
Great cover by Collins there. What I was just going to say is, if you're the ref, you have to be thinking... Should the team get a free shot from 12 yards away because of that play? To me, that has to be an element when you're deciding on whether or not it's a penalty kick. Too many times the ball's going out of bounds or it's a nothing play and maybe it barely touches the guy's arm, and all of a sudden they have a great scoring opportunity from that.
Now, Tinnerholm. I do have friends of mine who kind of came to late, as it were, who are amazed at how big the penalty area actually is. That's a discussion for another day, as this was the opportunity for Collier.
He's trying to play that ball in behind, in between New York City FC's defense and their goalkeeper.
That just caught Maxi kind of wrong-footed almost, that he couldn't get it stretch out and get to that ball. So Sanchez quickly outletted for Chicago. Now Tinnerholm again on the right-hand side. Medina. Burgett can't control, and now McCarty for Chicago.
Dax McCarty everywhere in this first half, as we're used to.
Player who was shocked when he was traded by Red Bulls. But he's settled in here. Oh, Alex Ring. And he's going to go into the book.
Dax McCarty was actually at his own wedding when he found out about that trade. Had no idea that was coming. He thought that he new deal 6 months before that. Was at his own wedding in Florida, and he found out that he was getting traded to Chicago. Imagine that. His poor wife as well had no idea. All his buddies were saying, "Welcome to the MLS."
All right, honey, we're married. We're moving, but we're married.
We're moving to Chicago, whether you like it or not.
Now, what is a rare case for Alexander Ring, as he picked up the yellow card on that tackle. We'll get to his Tinnerholm. Nice back heel, finds Medina. Drives it through. Oh, Morales going up for it. I always admire the effort, but he's 5'3".
Medina obviously more comfortable on his left, but it's times like that you wish he would drive to the end line and whip one in with his right foot.
Corrales. Alexander Ring, so often it seems, is sitting on a yellow card suspension for accumulation. But there's also a rule in MLS that if you go a few games without picking up a card, they take one off your record. And that had occurred for Ring. So he was not in danger of suspension with that yellow card.
That's right, the good behavior rule. But you can only use that once a season. So next time that he's up against it, he can't get one rescinded.
Come on, good behavior is good behavior.
It's one of those things that you don't want to take away from Alex Ring's game, though, right? Part of what makes him great is his tenacity. He's always around the ball. Professional fouls, winning tackles. You never want to tell him to calm down.
Well, but let us know. I mean, you're the guy in the locker room there. You're in the team meetings and all. I would think that every player in a defensive core like you were, that the coaches all know, you know what, there's going to be 2-3 games a year that he's just not going to be available.
That's just the way it goes. I would never tell one of my guys to try not to get a yellow, unless, of course, they were already on a yellow in that game. That's different. But in terms of getting suspended, you can't expect your defensive midfielder who wins as many balls as Alex does to go a whole season without getting 5 yellow cards.
Weak pass by Medina was intercepted by Dax McCarty, but Chicago gives it right back.
To me, if you're a defensive center midfielder or a defender and you get 5 cards.
Long ball, Birgit off the chest. Turns, but was nowhere near to being in front of goal, and that's well wide.
If you only get 5 cards in a matter of 30 games, you should get an award for that, Joe. Forget about a suspension. They used to talk about the Fair Play Award. If I was a defender, I would never want that award. or would never want one of my guys on my team to get that award.
Well, so they have to the hydration break due to the heat and humidity it took.
Out in Naperville, I can remember being up near 115, 120. I'd be in the stands watching, soaked through my shirt. So
it's good temperature there on the field. 91 degrees in Chicago. The humidity a factor as well. And they say this is only supposed to take about a minute. Well, there's the heat index, 104. That's worth stopping it for a little bit, drinking some water.
It's better for everybody, the safety of the players. Obviously, you want to keep them well hydrated. Fans are going to enjoy the match more if the guys are fitter running around the field as opposed to ready to pass out on the pitch.
All right, New York City FC after this match in Chicago, back at Yankee Stadium next Sunday. It's another edition of the Hudson River Derby as they take on the Red Bulls. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. Don't miss your chance to support your city and be a part of the 2018 season. Tickets available at nycfc.com, 855-77-NYCFC, or at the Yankee Stadium box office. And once again, Nemanja Nikolic, the reason why this game is 1-0, well, and a big assist to Dax McCarty.
When there's no pressure on the ball like there was there, Joe, and Dax McCarty, you need to drop off as a back line. You see Collins trying to start to drop there. As you can tell, they're going to play the ball, and behind the rest of the line is trying to hold, and that's why they get in on a breakaway for Nikolic.
Nikolic getting his 7th goal of the season. Again, New York City without David Villa, who's out due to injury. Both teams with 2 shots, but both of Chicago's have been shots on goal. And look at that possession, 67-33.
NYCFC clearly leading the edge in possession, almost 67% there. Part of that, though, is the early goal from Chicago. As we said, they're more than content with letting New York City FC's defenders have the ball in their own half.
Well, I think part of it, exactly that, which you had pointed out. You have the ball in your defensive third or even your half of the field. There's not too much danger there, so I'll let you have it there all you want. So the stat that I would like to see if there's a way they could come up with. It's a little subjective, I'll admit. Not just so much possession, because as you pointed out, a lot of this possession tonight's been in your own half of the field. What's the meaningful possession?
Correct. What's the possession in the attacking half? What's the possession in the final third? Are you creating chances off of that possession?
So the shot by Joey Burgett deflected. So corner kick for New York City, their 4th of the night. Short corner to Morales. He'll have a little back heel, try and find Tajouri Shradi, but broken up. And now Katai. Schweinsteiger. Not wide, Bronico. He tries to flip it ahead. Skip by Tinnerholm. Alexander Katai trying to get away from Ebenezer Afori. Oh, I thought Afori had a nice tackle there. Got the ball. Katai goes tumbling, and Chris Pinso blows the whistle for the foul.
That looked clean to me. Like to see that on the replay. Katai going down, but I think that was a clean tackle by Afori.
Katai.
Oh, yeah, that's a clean tackle. That's all ball there.
So off the restart, Collier out wide. Schweinsteiger surveys the landscape, drives it far post. Up for the header is Nikolic. It goes skyward, and Sean Johnson just waits on it.
Schweinsteiger, as we know, having that free reign in the midfield, finding himself in the left wing.
Now Collins. High pressure from Chicago. Schweinsteiger in on Johnson. He tries to drive it out to midfield.
Now's the time NYCFC is going to try to hit them and get in behind. Chicago pulled out a little bit.
Now Schweinsteiger, familiar with Domitouron. He was an assistant with Guardiola at Bayern. Now a little 1-2. Maxi can't get it over the defense to find Tajouri Shradi. Tinnerholm. Berget knocks it down, tries to get on the end of it. Brandon Vincent sends it towards the near side. Throw in for New York City.
Still having trouble getting Berget involved here in the early going.
Now Tajouri Shradi. He'll cut inside. Hit it with the left foot, and it's in! It skips by Richard Sanchez. It looked like he had it covered, but Ismail Tajouri Shradi has his 8th of the season. He's tied with David Villa for the team lead.
No surprise there. Tajouri Shradi once again getting on the score sheet. As we talked about in the pregame, where were they going to find their goals? Every time this guy plays, it seems like he ends up on the score sheet for NYCFC. What a strike with the left foot here. Just got the goalkeeper moving the wrong way, finds the near post, knuckles into the corner. Ties this game up at 1.
And didn't catch that on the live action. Richard Sanchez just cheats a little bit to his left, and Tajouri Shradi sent it the other way.
Like he thought Tajouri Shradi was going to go near post. Caught him cheating a little bit.
Now Vincent. Schweinsteiger. Campbell works it ahead. Bronico out of the midfield. Back and forth with Bastian Schweinsteiger. Right-hand side, Alexander. Trying to get around Sweat. Drives it across off of Collins. And a deep breath as everybody. Well, I don't know about you, Chris. That looked like it might have been an own goal.
Almost an own goal. I thought this was for the far post. It's tough for Ben Sweat here. Normally you want to force the guy to the outside, but Katai great with both feet.
Results in the first quarter of the night for Chicago.
If you're the center back, you have to make a play on that ball that gets driven across low. But always scary when it's in behind your back.
And here comes the corner, top of the box. Katai trying to run onto it. It's deflected out, throwing for Chicago. Corrales finding Vincent. Chicago with numbers forward. Touched along. Tinnerholm will let it go out. Big chunk of turf out of the ground there, right by the byline.
Now Chicago feels like they have to come higher again and start to press the game. You see how the tactics change really quick once NYCFC gets on the scoreboard. Here's that low driven ball across. Collins knows he has to make a play on it with Nikolic running in.
Foul is called against Schweinsteiger. He doesn't like it. Quick restart by New York City. Maxi Morales. Middle of the park.
Tactical foul there by Dax. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Wrapped him up, you know.
That's got to be a yellow card.
Shelby Dons.
Hey, on the ball! Hold it, Johnny!
And Dax basically saying that's one foul. Here's Tinnerholm down the right-hand side.
See that run by Tinnerholm, Joe? That's what creates the space for Tajouri Shradi to cut inside on his favorite left foot and hit that bomb. Great run by Tinnerholm. As we know, NYCFC always in their best attacking form when he's high into the offense. Love that run there.
Now Tinnerholm across Burgett. Oh, there it is. Joe Burgett. 2 a week ago. He gets 1 tonight. And New York City has erased a 1-goal lead yet again. And they jump in front 2-1. Joe Burgett.
Wow, I feel it's only his second or third touch of the match, Joe. Unbelievable. I was just about to say, once again, they're having trouble finding Burgett. Great little ball in here from Tinnerholm. Burgett with a powerful header to nod that down into the near post. Great timing on that run.
Scandinavian connection.
You always taught to head the ball back where it came from. Joey Burgett showing how it's done here, putting on a clinic as he powers that ball into the near post. Tinnerholm again getting into the offense, providing that width and a service that ends up in an assist.
The big Norwegian finishing off the cross from the Swede.
Tinnerholm an all-star snub for me, Joe. He's been one of the best right backs in the league, clearly in the first half.
Morales into space. Medina avoids the tackle. Attempt by Diego Campos. And now Jesus Medina keeps it low. Finds Morales. A little back heel for Burgett. Cleared away by Chicago. Tracked down by O'Forty.
Now the game's starting to open up. This is playing into New York City's hands. They're getting some more chances off of this.
Collins, Diego Tinnerholm. Early on, Nemanja Nikolic got behind the New York City defense on a feed from Dax McCarty. That was in the 6th minute. But 2 goals in 4 minutes. 36th minute for Tajouri Shradi, the 40th for Joe Burgett. And it is 2-1 New York City.
We always change games, Joe, and that's exactly what's happening here.
Here's Tinner, and Sweat reads it well as Katai just waited on it. Oh, and then he gives it away.
Great step by Ben Sweat there. Unfortunately, he didn't realize Katai was coming back.
Now Nikolic. Campos.
Chicago being at home are going to feel like they really have to press the game now, down 2-1. It should work to New York City's advantage.
Well, just an idea of the explosiveness of the New York City offense. Just like that, 2 goals in 4 minutes, and it's a 2-1 game. Intercepted by Tinnerholm. Tajouri Shradi. Ring calls for it. The Finnish international trying to settle things down a bit. Now finding Maxi Morales. Gets by Dax McCarty. Out wide for Burgett. Edge of the area. He'll work one-on-one against Brandon Vincent. Spins him, cuts inside, but the shot skips off the ground. Sanchez covers it up. Danger averted for Chicago.
Burgett lining him up one-on-one here. Just turns it inside. Doesn't get all that shot with his left foot. He'd like to have that one back, I'm sure.
Couple of minutes to go in regulation time. We did have the hydration break, so figure a couple of minutes of added time. They say they're supposed to be under a minute. They never are.
Those are the times, Joe, when they're in the attack, when both your defensive center midfielders and your center backs really have to be aware of what's going on the defensive end. Make sure they're organizing back there so that if they do give up the ball, Chicago doesn't come right back down on a break. Guys like Collins and Ring probably doing most of the talking there, organizing the rest of their guys.
Jonathan Campbell. McCarty finds Campos. He tries to get around Medina. Medina recovers nicely, and now New York City on the move again to Jordi Shradi. Medina on the left-hand side. Right-hand side, this is Ring. Tinnerholm, left for Anton Tinnerholm. He'll cut it back. Alex Ring sets it up off the right foot. Don't know if he wanted to pass it into the path of Brigette or if he just missed it. Now Tinnerholm.
Outstanding step by Ofori. Put them right under it, win it back for New York City, get a hold of possession again. Those are the times when you're Chicago Fire and you feel like you can't get out of your own end.
Well, those were the interviews with Dominic Thuram when he first got here, saying that the big thing he wants is if we turn the ball over, get it back. And Ofori did just that. Now Brigette nods it along. Campbell underneath it. Works it over to Corrales.
Something that all of City's teams do so well. They're great at possessing the ball, but as soon as they lose it, they attack and try to win it right back. Within the first few seconds, you see them swarm the ball and try to win it back.
3 minutes to be added on in this first half of play. Bronico out wide, Corrales gets it back.
I like this New York City FC getting back into 2 blocks of 4, almost a block of 4 and then a block of 5 with Medina coming in and Brigette being the lone man up top. It'll be very difficult to break down. If you're New York City, you just want to see this into the half. Make sure you have the 1-goal lead going into halftime.
Corrales continues his run, but Nikolic lays back to Bronico. Schweinsteiger back and forth with Corrales. Now Vincent. Now Chicago's had sustained possession here, but just haven't found an opportunity to create any offense with it. And now at the last, Jordi Shradi finds Ofori. Brigette. Well, Maxey gets flattened.
That's smart defending from New York City right there. Get back, get in your shape, be hard to break down. That's exactly what they did, and Chicago ends up giving the ball away.
Free kick in the defensive half. Left for Seba Ibeagha.
Now you see Alexander Ring come back into that more defensive midfielder role. Make sure they close things up before the half.
And he close out 2 minutes of the 3 requested of added time in this first half of play. Ball into space for Maxi Morales. Argentinian spins away from Morales.
So sharp on the ball, Maxi Morales. Great job to switch it out to the left side.
Now Sweat working with Medina. Edge of the area, touch back to Ben Sweat. Does he have a chance to provide service?
See how far inside Tinnerholm is now. Whereas maybe in the past he would have been higher, like still as a winger.
Knocked out by Chicago. 30 seconds to go. Throw in for New York City. Medina will not take it. He'll leave it for Ben Sweat as they'll exhaust a little bit of time.
As they have the ball in the attacking half, they're going to make sure they're up 1 in the back just in case they turn it over.
Veljko Paunovic. You see the frustration on his face. And now Maxey into the box. Deflected. Drops down. Tinnerholm first time.
Love that read from Tinnerholm there. He saw that it was going to be a bad touch. Jumped all over that one.
And there's the halftime whistle from Chris Penzo. So New York City, they came from behind a week ago. They do it again here tonight, but there's still 45 minutes to go. Ismail Tajuri Shrad. Inga Burgett counter the goal by Nemanja Nikolic, and it is 2-1 at halftime. The Etihad Airways halftime report is next.
How do you become America's best-selling brand?
We've got room.
You help drivers save the day. Outsmart traffic.
Waze says it's faster to take the side streets.
Perfect.
And protect those who matter most. Keeping more people coming back year after year. That's Ford. The SUVs ranked #1 in brand loyalty. Get an Escape with an extra $750 bonus cash for a total of $1,750, plus 0% financing for 60 months or lease for $149 a month.
This summer, find what you love in New York State. Visit iloveny.com to plan your family's summer vacation today.
What is different?